All right, today we are going to be learning how to simplify fractions. Some of you already know how to do this, but we're just going to review it. So I have the fraction 6/16 here, and the first thing you really should do, and you can do this in your head, most of you already do it in your head, is you're going to find the factors of both of these numbers. And if you don't recall what the factors are, it is the numbers that you multiply together in order to get this multiple. So like 1 and 6, and 2 and 3 would be all factors of the number 6, because 1 times 6 and 2 times 3 equals 6. For 16, we'd have 1 and 16, 2 and 8. Oh, and I forgot 4 right in the center. So I'm going to erase it, because 4 times 4, of course, is 16. So now that I have my factors, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to need to find the greatest common factor. So which number right here is the greatest one that they have in common? So obviously if you look here, the only number actually they have in common is 2. So that is the greatest common factor. Once you know the greatest common factor, you're going to divide 6/16 by the number 1, because any number divided by 1 equals that number. But we are going to change it, just like we always do when we divide a number by 1. We're going to make it into a fraction that would make sense. Since this is their greatest common factor is 2, we're going to actually divide it by 2 halves. Because if you recall, 2 over 2, this is actually equal to 1, and any number divided by 1 will equal that number. So therefore, we actually aren't changing the number, we're just finding an equivalent fraction. And then all you do is you divide right across. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Again, this would be similar to the ratio tables. Whatever you do to the numerator, you need to do the denominator, kind of same thing. So the answer is 3/8. The second problem we have is 3/24. So first thing, of course, when we're simplifying fractions is to find the factors. So if I start to write down the factors, obviously, first for 3, well, I know 3 is a prime number, so 1 times that number is the only factors for the number 3. So therefore, this number 24, the greatest one, would have to be 3. That is, if 24 can be divided by 3, which it can. It's 3 and 8. So I don't have to go any further because there's only 2 factors to choose from, and 3 is it. So once again, we're going to divide by 1 whole, which in this case is going to be 3/3, because 3/3 equals 1. And again, ratio table or whatnot, whatever you do to the numerator, you need to do to the denominator. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So 3/24 equals 1/8. The third practice problem I have is 8/28. Again, finding the factors of both the numbers is the first thing you need to do. So 1 times 8 equals 8. 2 times 4 equals 8, and that's all. 28, we have 1 times 28, 2 times 14, no 3, 4 times 7, and that's all of them. Then you're going to look for the greatest common factor. Some people also, just so you know, call those the GCF, greatest common factor. And if you notice here, the greatest one would be this 4. It's the largest one they have in common. They do have a 2 in common, but the 4 is bigger, obviously, so that's the GCF. Now we're going to divide this fraction by a whole, and we want to use that greatest common factor in making our whole, so it's going to be divided by 4/4. And once again, we're going to divide straight across, so 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 28 divided by 4 is 7. So 8/28 is equivalent to 2/7. I have one more problem for good measure. Our last problem is going to be 12/32, and we are going to find an equivalent fraction for 12/32. Once again, you're going to find the factors of both of the numbers. So for 12, we have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And then for 32, we have 1, 32, 2 times 16. 3 is no. 4 would be 4 times 8. 5, 6, no. 7, nope. Okay, and then those are all of them. So then we find the greatest common factor, the GCF. And if you look here, it would be 4 again. So we're going to divide by 4/4. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. 32 divided by 4 equals 8. So 12 32nds is equivalent to 3/8. I hope this helps you find equivalent fractions in the future.